Hey, how's it going, y'all? My name is Joseph Sapola, and I am going to be teaching y'all how to make a voxel engine from scratch. Um, so this is a advanced tutorial, but I am gonna cater it to beginner and intermediate programmers. So I will be making a 5-part series. So if you are an advanced programmer and you kind of know how OpenGL works, you can skip to part 3 of this YouTube tutorial. But otherwise, for anyone else, I'm going to be doing the setup and assembly for OpenGL, and I'm going to be doing it line for line. That way, people can kind of understand what is going on with the code. Um, So without further ado, um, this is 3D programming, 3D graphics, computer graphics. So linear algebra might be a helpful prerequisite, but here's the thing: with normal 3D computer graphics, with something like Toy Story, like an animated film, there's going to be a lot of contortions and different types of ways the objects are going to be shrinking and moving and rotating, rolling around and stuff. So for an animated movie, um, matrix transformations would be really important. But we're doing a voxel engine, and the blocks aren't going to be like rolling around and rotating and shrinking and squeezing. We're just going to be translating the blocks, just moving around. So if you ask me, the hi kitty, the linear algebra, it's not that important, and I wouldn't recommend it. But I'm going to be leaving it in the description. That way, people can watch it, if they want. So without further ado, let's get started. So let me just make my screen size a little smaller. Alrighty. So first off, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be checking our drivers. So let's check our graphics card real quick. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's called Device Manager. You just go right here. Display adapters. And we're going to check this. Click Update Driver. And we'll just search automatically. And it says the best drivers are already installed. Okay, so we can close that. So that's the first step. Okay, so let's grab Visual Studio. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Yeah. All right, so we'll go online, and you could just find it online, Visual Studio. Don't click the Visual Studio code. We want this Visual Studio IDE. So we'll click that. Get free download. And so it'll just start automatically. Here's the Visual Studio setup. You just open that. Right. So let's set up, and this shouldn't take long. Okay, once we get to this screen, we're going to find the one that says desktop development for C++. It'll say Cmake right here, and Cmake's going to be one of the tools we're going to be using. So click that, and then click install. And now we are installing. So once that finishes up, we'll get started with the next steps. Alrighty, so now that we have Visual Studio Community 2026 downloaded and installed, we're going to download something called Cmake. Cmake is just basically a tool that helps us keep everything glued together in the project. So it's just going to make everything easier and more accessible. It's just kind of like a accessibility thing. So we're going to do that. It's cmake.org/download. So we just go there, and we are going to get the 64-bit installer. So x64 installer. Go ahead and click this one, and we are going to download that. We are also going to get a library called GLFW, which is the graphics library framework. So that's going to help us build a window so we can see everything. Because in OpenGL, we kind of have to do everything ourselves. So even the window portion, we have to kind of add in. So that's what we're going to do. Also, it helps with the mouse controls, so moving your mouse around. We're going to use GLFW for that. So, yeah, pretty similar. glfw.org/download.html. Okay. All right, and then we're going to download the source package, which is right here. Just click that. Cool. And for now, the last thing we're going to get is GLAD. So GLAD is the OpenGL loading library. This is where we get all our OpenGL definitions from. So yeah, definitely important. So let's grab that. We're gonna go to glad.david with a 1.de. So right here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to profile. You see this button right here? We're gonna click core. The API GL. It's gonna be version 3.3, and we're gonna leave everything else blank. So that's all. Just the core version 3.3, and yeah, C++. Leave everything, ignore everything else and just click generate right here. Cool. So then we're gonna click this glad.zip file. Just click it, and we're gonna download it. Cool. All right, so we have all the files that we need downloaded. So let's close out of this. Yeah, we can launch Visual Studio. So go ahead and do that. We're gonna open it. Close that out of the way. And click, let me minimize this. Yeah, start Visual Studio. Make sure I'm still recording. Yep. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is click create a new project. And yeah, right here, this empty project, start from scratch. That's what we're gonna do. Click next, and then click place solution and project in the same directory. And we're gonna call this Joe Voxel. Sure. All right, create. Cool, we can kind of close this what's new thing. So here's our Visual Studio. So we have the project now, so we can go into our file explorer. We can just close this out, and we can actually view the source file. So if we go to File Explorer, find where Visual Studio is, and I know where it is, so it's this PC. It's under my users, and right in here, users.joseph. We're going to click this source file right here. This was just created 1 minute ago. Go into there, go into repos. Okay, so this is our project right here, Joe Voxel. So we can click that. And in this, in our project folder, we're going to go new. We're going to make a folder. We're going to call it libraries. And so when I was talking about Cmake, this is how Cmake makes our lives easier. It's kind of easier to explain now that we're doing it. So if we wanted to link different libraries together, it would be a really complicated process, especially with GLFW, because it needs to interact with the project, and so this makes it easier. And Cmake is also built into Visual Studio, so they have built-in connections with it, so you can just you can trust that. But we're gonna go into libraries. So we're gonna have two folders in the libraries folder. It's gonna be include and lib. So this is going to make it really easy for Cmake to find all of our libraries and our include stuff. So like the source to libraries. So yeah, we got these folders. Now let's go into Cmake. So let's close this out. So yeah, and before we do that, because we're going to open up Cmake, I guess we could just open it up, but we're going to go into our downloads. And we just downloaded, let's see, GLFW right here, 3.4. Okay, so we're just going to extract it, and we're just going to extract it right to the downloads. It doesn't matter where we put it. We just want to extract it. Okay, so now we're in there. And what we're going to do is... it's on the download, so now that we have it extracted, let's close out. Well, we don't have to close out because we're going to open this Cmake and we're going to install this. So let's just do that right now. So let's go next. I accept. Next. Next. Okay, we're going to install Cmake. Let's do that right now. All right, click finish. All right, we'll see if it opens. But if it doesn't open, we'll just get it from somewhere else. But what we need to do is go into our GLFW folder, click right here, and we need to make a build folder in the GLFW folder. So just call it build. And so this is where we will put, once we build it with Cmake, this is where it'll go. And then we can just pull it out. So let's open Cmake. So right here. So just open it. Okay, so here's Cmake. So let us figure out what we need to do. So browse source right here. Let's set the source. So let's go into our downloads. And here's GLFW. And we want to go into here. And then boom, select folder. So yeah, this looks right. So this is the source of the GLFW folder. And then where to build the binary. So we're going to browse. And I think because I've done this multiple times, I'm just making sure I get the correct one. So I go into downloads, get the most recent one, GLFW, and then this build folder right here that we just created. We're going to select that folder. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click this compile button now that we have the build source set. So yeah, press configure and ensure this is all up to date. So it's Visual Studio 2026. Okay, finish. All right, let it run. Okay, so if you see red right here, that actually means you did it right. So we're going to click configure one more time to update it, and the red should go away. Okay, so the red went away. So now we're going to click generate. Okay, generation done. So we're going to exit Cmake. All right, so the next step, we're going to go into our build folder. So let's do that. Downloads, GLFW. Let's go into the build folder. All right, so now we got a whole bunch of stuff. Cool. All right. We're going to open GLFW.sln right here. So we're going to open this. It's going to open in Visual Studio. So we'll just let it load. If it wants to load. All right, so let's do view. Oh, here it is right here. So solution GLFW right here. You're going to right click that. And we're going to click build. Build solution. So I suppose this is just building the GLFW library. So yeah. Yeah, just let it run, let it do its thing. It's loading. Okay. Build completed. Awesome. All right, we're going to exit Visual Studio. So the build is completed. Let's go into GLFW, build, source, debug. So glfw3.lib. This is the file that we need. So we're going to take this and click. We're going to cut it. So we're going to take glfw3.lib and we are going to go back over to our project. Users, Joseph, source, repos, voxels. So go into your libraries. Let's see, is it in the include? So it's actually in the lib. So go into lib, and we're going to paste glfw3.lib into the lib folder. All right. So that's all you need to do. And then we need to go back into our GLFW. Go into include. And then this GLFW file right here, we need this. So we're going to click it, cut. Did we cut it? Yeah. Okay. And now we're going to go back to our source folder. Sorry, this should be more simplified, but just going the long way. Just go through the files, libraries, go into your include folder, and paste that in. Cool. All right. Next step, we're going to open GLAD. So GLAD is the OpenGL loading library. So download. So GLAD right here, we're gonna extract it all, and it doesn't matter where we put it. We just put it right there. Okay. So we'll go into GLAD. And I believe it's an include. Yeah. So these two files, GLAD and KHR. We're gonna cut these. We need these two. So cut. Let's go into yep, we're going back to the source file folder. Sorry. Back here. And I believe these go into the include library. Paste it in. Cool. Let's see. So, okay. So next we need to get glad.c. So go into downloads. Glad2. And then source. So this glad.c file, we're also going to cut it. But this time we're just going to put it in the main folder. We're not going to... I'll show you where to put it. Source. Repos. Joe. Okay, so right in here, we'll just drop it right in here. So, paste the glad file. Okay, so that was a lot of steps. A lot of file exploring, but it's all worth it. Just wait a sec, and we will get our project all launched very soon. So we're going to open up our project. So Visual Studio. And then we are going to load joevoxel.sln. So that's what we need. So let's open it up. So as you can see, we kind of have all these stuff. this is good. So what we have to do is make sure it's 64, x64. That's good. Okay. So then we want to go into our solution. We're going to go down to properties, and we're going to do some linking. Oh, this was the wrong. Give me one sec. This one right here, not the solution. Sorry. Click the actual file, the name. Okay. So let's go into, what are we going to do first? So platforms, you see this? Make sure it's all platforms. And then I think in general, no, it's VCC++. Go into here. And so you'll see we have include and library directories. Yeah, this is what makes Cmake worth it, It is really simple. You just go into include, and we're going to add our include directory. So let's go into our folder. Sorry, this is slow, not very efficient. So this include right here, we're going to take this file location right here on top. Select it all. Copy it. And we are going to include the include directory. Okay. Library. Let's do the same for library. Edit. Instead of include, back it up. We're just going to type in lib. Perfect. All right. So next we have to set up our linker. So yeah, linker, and then I believe we go into input. Right here where it says additional dependencies, we're going to go in here, edit, and we're going to add our dependencies. So what we need is the GLFW3.lib. Okay. And then we also need OpenGL 32.lib. And also we might need more. So when we run this, we'll see. But usually we only need these two. But depending on your computer, you might actually need more dependencies, and then you just add them right in here. So let's click apply. Cool. Now let's click OK. So we're going to take glad.c. So we put it in our main folder. So Joe Voxel. We can put this on there. So this glad.c, we're just going to drag this. And then where are we going to put it? Source folder. So just put in the source files right here. Boom. Okie dokie. So we're going to click source files, add, new item, main.cpp. Awesome. So we are just going to make sure this works. So hopefully everything works. We'll see. Let's test it. So let's do our includes. Include IOStream. And this is like a basic C++ include thing. It just has a syntax for adding and subtracting and stuff like that. Okay, include. We're going to include glad/glad.h. So we're going to include glad. Oops, and I spelled sorry for the, and we can actually zoom this in for there we go. Sorry for the autocorrect. It's kind of annoying, but it is helpful. It like predicts what you're typing. All right, and then the last thing is we're going to include the GLFW, GLFW3.h. Cool. And let me make sure that's correct. Looks correct. All right, we're going to write a simple function int main. Sorry, we need the thing right there. Okay. So we are just going to return 0, and that's it. So we're going to basically hope it doesn't crash. So let's try it out. Okay. I don't see any build errors, so that means we did everything correctly. It's reading our glad and our GLFW. So we did good. So congratulations on completing the first part of this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. And in the next video, we will be doing assembly. So we got everything set up. We got a working C++ file. In the assembly, we're going to start building the triangle. We're going to actually build shapes that we can actually see on the screen. So thanks for watching, and tune in for the next video. All right. Thanks, guys.